Okay, so UFC bantamweight champion Merab, I'm not even going to try and say his last name, recently was asked who he's going to be fighting next for the world title, and he said that Sandhagen makes the most sense, and I would have to agree. Based off the other top contenders, he's beat Sean O'Malley twice convincingly. He's beat Umar. Peter Yan's got a fight coming up. Sandhagen's the only one that's not got a fight coming up. That's coming off a win against a other top contender in Figueiredo. A really, it's an impressive win in my opinion, because you don't see two top five guys fighting each other. Right, I think Sandhagen was ranked 2 or 3 at the time, and Figueiredo was ranked number 5. It feels so rare in the UFC that top 5 guys fight each other. So the fact that that fight happened, that the fact that both guys were willing to take that fight, and Sandhagen won that fight, in my books, it does mean a lot, because you've got a lot of guys that are, once they reach the top 5, they don't want anything other than a title fight. And unfortunately, recent precedents in the UFC has showed that if you do that, it will work for you, right? Once you get to ranked 5, 4, or 3, you can realistically wait out 6 months, a year, and get a title shot, right? So as long as that happens, there'll be people that continue to do that, right? But not Sandhagen and not Figueiredo. Those two fought each other, and Sandhagen won, and that was pseudo, like a quasi title eliminator, while title eliminator number 1 contender fight, right? Sandhagen won it, and I think Merab, understands that he should be next in line, because I don't think it would make sense for Merab to rematch Umar, because Umar's not fought again since. Like I said, Peter Yan's got a fight, and he's not going to fight O'Malley for the 3rd time. Sandhagen's the only one left that's got a couple of wins. Coming off a big win as well, and stylistically doesn't really cause many problems for Merab. I was talking about this on a recent podcast episode with my co-host Evan. The only way to beat Merab, it seems like, is to stop him, because you're not going to outwork him. Even if you can outstrike him for periods, if you can't stop him, Merab is going to continue to move forward. He'll take those shots, and he's going to put you against the cage. He's going to shoot takedowns. He's going to force scrambles. He's going to make you exhausted. You can have a great gas tank. I don't care how good your gas tank is. You can face Merab, and he'll force that many scrambles. You're going to get gassed out. You've never really seen a gas tank like Merab's in MMA before, in my opinion. I've never really seen a gas tank like that. And when you've got a gas tank like that, it gives you such a big advantage over everyone you fight. Then you add in the toughness as well, and the commitment to the wrestling. So it's not just Merab's got a great gas tank, is he's going to push the pace and force you to use up so much energy just to stay in the fight. By the time you get to the 4th, 5th rounds, he's probably won most of those rounds, and you're exhausted, and you really can't finish Merab at this point because you're so tired. Merab's not really got much finishing potential either. Somehow he finished Sean O'Malley. Kind of does show some progression on Merab's part for sure, but also, how beat O'Malley was probably mentally going into that. But also, styles make fights, right? And when you're forcing that much grappling in a fight, and when Merab had so clearly had such a grappling skill advantage over O'Malley, over the course of, they fought 8 rounds, because I think it was a 3rd round submission. I'm not surprised that Merab finally got a submission, or finally managed to finish O'Malley. I don't think he would finish Sandhagen, because I think Sandhagen's got better defensive grappling than Sean O'Malley. But that doesn't say I think Sandhagen could beat Merab. I don't think he could. I don't think he's powerful enough to knock Merab out. In terms of striking technique, he's good enough. He's a far better technical striker than Merab. More or less everyone that fights Merab is. Peter Yan is, Umar is, Sean O'Malley is, Sandhagen would be, but it just doesn't matter. Like I said, if you're not stopping Merab, you're not beating him. Because he can be hurt though, because I think O'Malley rocked him in the first fight, and Umar was even winning rounds against him early on in their fight. To be honest, Umar probably is the best guy that's got a chance of beating Merab, but Merab's already beaten him. But I'll probably make another video about Umar another time. But Yeah, it's looking like Merab wants to fight Sandhagen next. That fight makes the most sense. Merab said that the UFC is going to let him choose the next contender, and looks like he's going to choose Sandhagen. What are potential routes to victory for Sandhagen? Of course, the striking, keeping it on the feet, moving about, not staying in one spot for too long. Obviously, when you're a striker against a wrestler, the more you stay stationary, the easier it is for them to take you down. And trying not to stay on the centre line as well. Because even though Merab doesn't necessarily throw a lot of straight shots, he throws these hooking shots to try and force you to stay on the centre line and back you up. And once you're up against the cage, Merab's hard to stop from getting a takedown. So going into this fight, Sandhagen should know this. And because Sandhagen's such a big 135er, he's damn near 6 foot at 135. Right? Because he's so big, he should use that height, use that reach to stay on the outside, circle around, and at times, when it's necessary, when, you know, you're understanding the rhythm and the pace of the fight, you apply some pressure onto Merab. Guys haven't really done that. Umar did that at times, and he had some success. When Sean O'Malley opened up a bit more, threw more strikes and put his punches together and had that confidence, he was able to have some success against Merab. But ultimately, can you throw those punches, maybe get taken down, get up and continue to do that? A lot of these guys aren't able to do that. They can train it all they want. But mentally, when you're in there against Merab, when you're in the cage against Merab, and you throw a three-punch combo, he takes it and then he takes you down. And he holds you down for 70% of the round. Then maybe you get back up. You don't want to throw punches anymore, because you've just been on your back for majority of this round and you're tired. You don't want to throw more punches and give him an opening to maybe take you down again. So it's going to take a bit of delusion. It's going to take a bit of delusion if you're going to have some success against Merab. You need to just go out there, throw your hands, throw some kicks. I know throwing kicks against a wrestler can be a bit risky, because if the wrestler catches the kick, you're going down. But Sandhagen's got skills. He's got tools in his arsenal. I expect to see knees, the elbows, and those knees and elbows, they're going to be useful for Sandhagen when Merab's trying to apply that pressure. The fact that he's so long and he can use his elbows and his knees the same way a smaller fighter could use punches and kicks. Right? And if Sandhagen's able to do some damage to Merab in the clinch, maybe that will mean Merab is more reluctant when trying to force the wrestling. So it's definitely an interesting fight. I'd be curious to see when this fight gets booked for, if it does get booked. It looks like it will get booked, but when it gets booked for, where the fight takes place. Stylistically is an interesting one. There is some paths to victory for Sandhagen, but it's going to take a lot to implement that game plan and win that fight. So we'll see. But yeah, another episode of the Seth Side Quest in the bag, and I'm out. Peace.